Hi, my name is Oiza Sadiq, and this is how I moved from local to regional to global roles at Google in 4 years. I want to make money. I want to make impact. I want to be a boss. I wanted to get into marketing, but I was doing business partnerships. And that's sort of like, watered the ground for me to have some experience under my belt to go in for a marketing interview at Google. And when I got it, it felt like this was the dream role. I will make impact in sub-Saharan Africa. Having a growth mindset was super important in being in the corporate space, because you go take for there if you are not actively, not even just growing in the job, it's like growing personally. Now, this story is sweet. This is the sweet part, because this is how I moved from local to regional to global roles at Google in 4 years. Moving continent and added bonus.
Hey folks, welcome to my YouTube channel. My name is PC Timmy. I'm a multifaceted creator, a marketing professional, and a teacher, and I'm passionate about growing people and growing businesses. See, the goal is that anybody who comes across me or any piece of my content is inspired and or motivated to get better in your business, in your career, and in your life. As you watch this video, like and comment and share to your friends and family if you like it. Please subscribe to my channel. Enjoy this video, and I'll see you. Peace.
Oh! So it wasn't like I had a game plan of this was what I was going to do and this is how I'm going to be here in 4 years. But personally, I had my own drive. I had the things that I had the why I wanted to do something, and the things I was interested in. The first one, don't ask me why, but I wanted to be a C-level executive, just make business decisions and impact things. This might sound very shallow, but it was like, those movies that we used to watch where you see a lady come out of a Range Rover with her heels and her bag, enter and make bossy decisions. That was how I was thinking about the C-level when I was growing up. I wanted to be the boss. But also is that I wanted to make money, poverty far from me in Jesus' name. There was that. Then I also wanted to make impact, just have that bit of, I don't know if to call it fame or popularity, but be known for something good, oh, this person is really doing impactful work here, or this person is changing the narrative here. I liked this kind of things and I wanted to do that. So those were my own guiding force. So 2021, at this time I was in the local role at Google. But no, let's take it back a little bit to 2020. So because in 2020 I was still doing a temporary role at Google, and then I wanted to become full-time in the company. And I remember that I was supporting other teams, doing 20%, trying to get what they were doing. I wanted to get into marketing, but I was doing business partnerships, and that's sort of watered the ground for me to have some experience under my belt to go in for a marketing interview at Google. And when I got it, it felt like this was the dream role. I will make impact in sub-Saharan Africa. I will change things. I will launch things. I was already feeling like I'd arrived and all this sort of things. But as I started to do the role, I started to realize that there's even bigger things that I can do outside of what I was doing at the time. And there was also the part where, there was bigger things happening in the company. There was so many moves that were happening, and you just felt like a small piece of a bigger pie. And me, I wanted to have the bigger pie. Remember the boss moves kind of thing. And in 2021, I had this sit down with myself of what do I want to do next. I'd been doing my role now for a couple months. There was the option for me to rotate from the role that I was doing, but I kid you not, as everybody they tried to do Japa, it wasn't a thing I had in my mind. I was just I wanted to make impact, just do those kind of things. But a friend told me something, and it's you haven't seen anything yet. Don't limit yourself. Don't put yourself in a box. Explore and see what is there. And so I put my hands up for the rotation. I didn't know what I was going to do. People were like, you could just, stay in your team and do something else. But it was COVID as well. So nobody was moving, nothing was happening. Now, I had already set my mind I wanted to experience bigger. I wanted to experience other markets. So my whole objective was starting to come into place. My whole goal was starting to come into place. And in some way, all of this sort of ties into my own personal goal and personal drive of being the boss, making impact, more money, and all those kind of things. And the team called back to me and said, there's no role, there's no rotation. I don't know what you mean that it don't reach my turn now, there's no rotation. Like, me, I wanted to rotate. And I went looking, I went out there and I started looking for like the role I wanted to do. And I found this role in growth marketing that I was interested in. And this wasn't something I said earlier as well, was in my previous role, I was doing a lot of things. I was doing 20%, but I was taking on different things. I was doing product marketing, but I was also doing growth marketing. I was doing research. I was doing a lot of things that just gave me a lot of transferable skills, even if I didn't have the understanding of the market that I wanted to go to. And then I found this role, and it was a regional role. I applied for it, and I got it. But then I asked the team, I was like, there's COVID though, and we're not moving. Is there like opportunities to move? And they said, of course, why not? Like, the team sits in London. If I want to sit in London or if I want to sit in Lagos, my choice. Japa came. And that was how I moved to London to start a regional role in growth marketing. Moving to London, starting a whole new role, it was a different experience. The market was different, the people different, the role different, like the level of skills needed, started doing more stakeholder management. I was starting to engage with like more senior folks. I was starting to be like, the kind of boss that I envisaged I wanted to be. So I was starting to do the kind of things that, I was looking at. There was impact coming, supporting things that were close to my heart. And it was starting to connect the dot. There was even an article about, moving from Lagos to London. It was such a cute moment. But then I also know that I'm the kind of person that get bored easily. I need to always find something challenging to do. Even if I don't know it first, let me get into it. Let me be crying, I don't know how to do this thing. What do I need to do? Versus, I've gotten a hang of it now. So, let's just keep rolling with it. And I think this is also being one of the strong push for me for how I've gotten to the point that I am today. And again, after a while, sat down with myself, so what's next? We rewind back to, I didn't tell you, that I got a global talent visa in the midst of all of this, the flex now, it was such a good thing to see the work that I've done, how I had all these transferable skills from local and I was bringing it to regional. But also having the UK endorse me that I'm a global talent, it was quite exciting. But that was not enough. I wanted to grow. I wanted to learn more. I wanted to get something even more challenging. I wanted to move from my team and explore other parts of the company. And so I sat down again, what's next? What do I need to do? I started to look at my whole goal, my whole mission, the things that I was interested in. I was even starting to question, is marketing that I want to be doing for the rest of my life? Or where exactly do I see myself? I figured out that I definitely want a combination of the things that I've learned in the past, the things I'm learning now in the tech space. And I started looking for my next job. Now, this story is sweet. This is the sweet part, because when I was looking for my next job, for me it was let's find this role. Let's stay in London, kill two birds with one stone, get a passport, get a role and just do it. I wasn't thinking about moving at the time. And I looked for this role that was based out of London. I spoke to the team. The manager loves me, and I got it. The interesting thing was, I realized that this interview was supposed to be more than 2, but I got it on my second interview. And I think that I got that because of the skill set that I had in the past, the familiarity I had with the environment, and the way I was able to transfer it into the role that I was going to go into. Especially knowing that, it seemed like a sensitive role. It required like someone that was fast-paced, that could get on it. And I was excited. But here comes the plot twist. This role was moving out of London to New York. What? 3 continents in 4 years. I was a bit worried. But then I had to go and sit back with myself again, like, what do I want to do? I want to make money. Look at me. I want to make money. I want to make impact. I want to be a boss. It was a line, you know. At the time, it was like, it was an easy decision to make at the time. But again, there was something to give, which was like letting go of being a global talent in the UK. And I signed up for it. And now I'm moving to New York to start a new life on a global team focused on a global role, being the boss again, making impact, and making money. More money. And it's been exciting. But I also realized that even though I wasn't thinking about it from having 4 roles, moving 3 continents, going local, regional, global, the base for which I looked for this role, or I worked in my team, or worked in a role, or tried to like gain knowledge, was founded on my own personal desires of making an impact, running away from poverty, being a boss. And somehow the skill set that I acquired, the things that I did, that I learned, and the way I went out about looking for this role, made the stars align. I'll come back and tell you how I got to New York and I'm now a boss again and I'm making more money. But this is how I moved from Lagos to London and now to New York in 4 years. Scared of everything, because it's always a big decision. But one thing that I'm very much scared of is not being fulfilled, even after moving, or not achieving what I'm hoping to achieve with this role. So, outside of the money again, there is the impact that I want to make. Like, I want to find something challenging. I want to learn in the role itself. So there is that fear that I hope I can get the kind of skill set I need, the ones that are transferable enough to also make impact elsewhere. But the other thing I'm scared of, I made really good relationships in London. I'm not gonna lie. I have my best friends in the city. And now I'm moving to a city that I have never been and I know nobody. So I'm scared that I'll die of loneliness in New York. I would say it's being open and flexible. Open and flexible in the sense of being open to new things, not have a plan and stick to it it's this way and it must go this way. Because it's definitely how I've been able to just up and leave my family in Lagos and up and leave my relationships and friends in London. But the second one is being intentional, and I'll tell you why I say so. So many things I could have done, there's so many roles I could have taken, there's so many projects I could be working on, but somehow I got into this very specific ones, even though I wasn't actively thinking about it. This is the specific one I wanted to get into. It was more that I was intentional of around my goals or the elements of my goals. I know what I wanted in terms of or I want to make money here, I want to make impact, and I want to have like be able to like influence things at a more senior level. So being intentional with that allowed me to streamline into, should I be doing this role or should I not be doing it? Is there enough skill sets here that I need to be building? Is there growth opportunity here for me? Is there impact here to make? So all of those things together. And the last one is learning like a sponge. It allowed me to get transferable skills that was easy to sell myself for why I should move from sub-Saharan Africa to Europe, Middle East, and Africa and look after that market, or why I should now move from Europe, Middle East, and Africa to the United States. It was that I had the transferable skills needed for the job. And I had those transferable skills because I was open to learning and making sure that I wasn't bored in my role. One thing I'd say is like, especially in the corporate world, like the skill is not enough. Having digital marketing skills, partnership skills, like it's not enough. There's so much more to being in the corporate space. A lot that has to do with how you relate with people, a lot that has to do with how you bring people together, or how you even see the bigger project beyond the core work that you're doing. And I think this has like helped me a lot as well. I came to realize that it wasn't enough that I was doing my work. There was the part where I needed to also be blowing my horn of this is what I'm doing, even to the people that typically should know that. But there's also like the mindset thing as well. Having a growth mindset like was super important in being in the corporate space, because you go take for there if you are not like actively, looking at not even just growing in the job. It's like growing personally. I feel like I've changed so much over like thinking about like how I look at things from even a leadership perspective, even though I not be the leader, or like I'm not the one that's supposed to be making those decisions, to then influence like how I bring my skill sets to the table. I think that as there's so much in being in the corporate space that is just beyond doing the work. It is building the community. You can't just be a lone ranger or assume that this is the work that they gave me to do, I'm here to do. I mean, you would do it, but I don't think that you really go as far if you were to do that. It was that you were taking ownership of things, like leading things, finding how like it's like entwines with every other thing that's happening. But it was a lot more like that. Like I've seen myself grow personally. I've seen myself grown like in the business. Like I've had a mindset shift into like how I think about projects, like trying to find what is the common factor between your project and mine, and how can we come together and like make that work, or like how can we like drive this impact here, or like help make a case to our business leads to be able to do things like this or like that. I think that in the corporate space, it's beyond the work. It's the community. It's like being intentional, like with building a community, developing yourself personally, not even from a hard skill set, but even from a soft skill set as well. And there's something else I wanted to say that I can't remember. If I remember, I'll post it to you. I'm looking forward to like the growth I'm going to have. I think I'm going to have tremendous growth in my career with this role as well, because there's going to be a lot of like influencing, there's going to be a lot of like partnership, business conversations, which is like really where I want to be going to, making that business impact. And not like I haven't been making it, but this is like another level to it. So I'm quite excited about that. I'm excited to learn and flex muscles. Muscles and skill sets that I need for the role, but that would also like set me up for the next level. I'm excited to make friends in New York, but I'm also excited to have my friends in New York. Like, have you ever watched like all those movies where you have, you just have your girls like the streets of New York with like bags, going shopping and all of this kind of stuff, and you guys just enjoying the city? Yes, that one. Like, especially the part where we go shopping and then we go bags and then we're working. I've never been in the entrepreneurship world, but I've been in corporate all my life. And it is that you need to put in the work as a mini entrepreneur in the space or the role or the projects that you work on to be able to make the kind of impact and truly grow and make more money and climb the ladder of the corporate space. Corporate is beyond doing the job. It's building the community, the network, knowing what to say at the right time, the small talks, learning social skill sets, learning a whole different thing. If you're interested in getting into the corporate space, the skill set alone will not take you there. Build yourself too. And I think this applies for anyone and everyone. The last thing is that if you want to move countries and move roles, like I've done, don't focus on moving countries and moving roles. Focus on growing and focus on having transferable skill sets that allows you to get on anywhere, so that when the opportunity comes and it's a continent or it's a global role, you have what it takes to do it.